This is going to be a very good test because now RSG PH, not only, they don't necessarily have to put themselves on a timer, but if they even get slightly ahead, they can really force the agenda.
I feel like it's more balanced this time around, right? Their winning conditions are a bit more balanced in a sense where in game number 1, it was definitely SYS being lacking in that late game. But now that SYS has actually secured themselves into that late game with the Claude being picked up, this is looking quite good. But I gotta say, I don't know, which one do you think is a stronger composition? I'm very biased to Yves being picked.
Well, I do think RSGPH has the better comp in this particular situation. It's easier to execute, scales harder, and it does everything you want it to do.
Smash them.
Well, you don't have to ask me. No, I'm just kidding. At the same time, I just want to say, you know, yes, you guys mentioned SYS's draft this time is much more balanced. Also, one thing I want to highlight is they have a lot of potential here, either to follow up on the picks with the Cho, right, the way of the dragon that they can use, or they can actually kind of go in and go out with what they have, whether it's the Claude, whether it's the Black Shoes with Lilia. So they can actually play around with this composition a little bit more. Like, do they commit to the setups if he's able to find them on the Cho, or do they kind of weave in and out to whittle down RSG Philippines to the point where then they can make a signal if, for example, you hold on to that Way of the Dragon where resources are expended, health bars are low, then you go in for the pick. Like, that will be kind of like an option here for SYS.
Well, think of it this way. I mean, SYS right now, they've got a really dive-heavy composition. It's all about peeling. It's all about sending the divers to go and Lilia to kind of slowly peel back for this Claw until the time is right to pull on that linchpin. But what is that condition? What are they afraid of? It has to be that Karina as well as that Angela combination together. Oh, you want to use your Blazing Duet? No problem. I just go invisible for a couple of seconds and I'll take you out immediately after.
100%, and now we're gonna take a look at some stats here coming in from Sensei. So I don't know, I think Sensei has tried to do what he can, especially on the Ling. I mean, he has used it twice in a row, and the way that he's able to kind of adapt to what he needs to use with the Ling is something to say about him. With an average kill of 4.11 with a KDA ratio of 4.53, Gideon, what does this tell us about him in particular?
Well, I mean, honestly, considering the amount of kills that he's getting per game, averaging it out, especially with the KDA that he was getting, it's not too bad. It's not the worst, it's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst in the world, which does mean that other members of the team are really picking up the slack here, especially for some of their cleaner games. Then again, it's a little hard to say, but let's get right into it. Let's see whether they can break down this iron wall defense from RSG PH.
They've got the tools for it, and
I swear,
Gideon, there it is.
It has to be me, right? It has to be me, right? That's 2 times. It's 2. I'm 2 for 2. I'm 2 for 2 on this.
That's so what kind of statistic would you give Gideon? If we had a lower thirds for Gideon, what kind of? I don't think it's a rising star. Cursed caster.
The witchcraft, top witchcraft caster.
Well, while they figure those things out, I mean, we've talked quite a bit about SYS, the potential, the dynamic that they have with this composition. I like it a lot. I think we can all agree we like it a lot better than what they had in game number 1. RSG Philippines, on the other hand, right? Like, again, they're not changing much here. This is very standard for them. And like the Angela pick on Light, it's not something he would typically pick, because when you think of Light, it's also someone who reminds me of, like, for example, Chaknu, right? He likes to start those fights. He likes to be very active on the decisions that he's making. That's why he's shot calling. Now, when it's paired with Karina, like you mentioned, you know, you want to talk about this earlier, and Angela and Karina I feel like it could almost be stronger than the Angela and Ling combo in certain situations.
I would agree. I would agree mainly because even though you don't necessarily have the outplay ability of the dashes or the Finch Poise coming in from Ling, at the very least, you can just strong-arm your opponent down. And it's rather scary coming in from a tank Karina being built, because it's not only can you not kill her as easily, she has extra bits of sustain, her stats are going to be beefed up on top of it all, and your auto attacks just don't work for some reason. It's really, really frustrating to deal with. And even when you are a mage, you feel like, man, I feel like I'm not getting a lot done.
I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, Karina's been a huge driving force in that jungle position for the fact that she is a quote-unquote counter of the way that the meta has actually, you know, laid itself out. I mean, we put so much emphasis on using marksmans, and the way that they play is that they always use those basic attacks. So once these basic attacks are rendered useless, that's exactly how the Karina shines. So my question is, the Blazing Duet, if I'm not mistaken, is a basic attack, right? So does that mean when the Blazing Duet starts, the Karina can be immune to that?
Yes, the Karina can be immune to that. I think the initial blast of it, you will see a bit of a chip because there is a reactionary time that you have to press the button and then you go into that mode, unless you're all conveniently in it and Claude decides, you know what, this is a good time. This is a great time to do it. Then yeah, it's not going to be as effective as it wants to be. So I think it's always about timing. And I always put this argument time and time again that compositions that require more execution are more likely to fail compared to easier compositions with less executional value.
Yeah, I mean, a big factor is going to be the Karina thing. And also, I was just visually thinking while you were explaining that, Gideon, I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, Claude like goes in with the Blazing Duet, right? He's like shooting all his guns and stuff. And Karina's literally sitting there like waving her weapons, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what she's doing, isn't it?
Yeah, you can run circle, you can run laps around it, just for fun.
So even the visuals are real. So, you know, it works there. And again, I'm going to say it because I talk about this a lot too on our broadcast back at home. And I just got to say, as I know she's meta, I know Karina is meta, I just don't really like seeing her that much.
She's really unfun.
I wish there was a deeper like pool for jungle heroes right now, like in the current meta. I wish we got to see more. That's why I like it when there's kind of those experiments going on. But you know, now that we're seeing kind of Lings come back so far, I mean, in day number 1. The question is, do they start, like, do all these assassins start building, like, tanks like Karina? Is that what's going to happen?
Nah, I think I'm good. I think I don't want to live in that kind of MLBB world. They already butchered the EXP lane to make it really boring now with just Esmeralda. And luckily, we got Dyroth.
Dyroth, yeah.
That's the one win we got. Other than that, Thomas. Even then, we don't really know where he sits in the meta. But it's not the worst thing in the world compared to Karina.
Dyroth was a saving grace.
Thamos jungle.
Thamos jungle?
Yeah.
You think you'll...
I think it could be pulled off.
I'm wondering who's in your contact list. Is it ONIC? Tell me. I need to know the truth.
Can't say.
It's an ace up their sleeve here. But also, we're going to take a look here at the head-to-head. Emon versus Raw. And, I mean, look at the difference here.
That's just not fair. This is off one game. That's an average of 11 KDA to a 0.8.
Yeah, we just want to make a point that these are stats here, right, happening for MSC. So, you know, this is I feel like this isn't the best comparison of Raw's capabilities, right? But it will be said that, you know, for SYS, if they want to think about it, if they really want to contest versus RSG Philippines, maybe it starts here, allowing Raw to have a better game, a better time to really do what he needs to do on itemization to actually bring that to the table mid-game, late game.
One of the huge factors that I see between Emon and Ra is, again, like I mentioned earlier before, is the way that they're so different in that gold lane. Like, their playstyles are completely different. What they're accustomed to, completely different. Their comfort picks, completely different. And for the first game, it did not pay off for Ra. We do know that he likes to go for those mage picks in that gold lane. And actually, on paper, it does make sense, right? Because we're usually accustomed to seeing mages being able to pop off way earlier than marksmen. So you'd think that they'd be able to be bursted down, but the case is he's going head-to-head against one of the most solid gold laners in the league, who is Emon.
That's why I think it's so valuable to have Weapon Master. Because if you talk about timing or power spikes and you have Weapon Master and you just get that BOD, that's your power spike. Like, it's huge. And we saw that in the last game. And I mean, that's usually what happens for especially these Beatrix players. They like to just do that. And kind of what, I don't know exactly the time mark, but usually pretty early on, they've already got that damage.
Well, it depends on whether they want to rush boots first or whether just to opt to go, you know what? I don't need the boots. I'm just going to farm anyway, so just don't take the boots. Just start off with just a regular dagger and build it up into a BOD. I think I'm just going to come out with it. I think it's really boring, so they should just be bold and brave. Take Killing Spree. Show them who's boss in lane. Take
Killing Spree for
try. For Beatrix.
For Beatrix,
yeah,
okay.
Just fight them in lane. I've seen more than enough times where teams play, they kind of condition themselves where they're too afraid to actually take a winning matchup further than it should be, right?
Yeah.
You give them the space when you shouldn't be giving them that space. You know, if you really want to go out of your comfort zone, take Weakness Finder, maybe even take Electro Flash. I prefer Weakness Finder. It feels really, really good when you slow the guy one time and just kill him off of that. It feels very nice.
I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like a lot of these gold laners now they're used to the variance between Weapon Master and what else do we see for gold laners? What else do they take?
High and dry sometimes.
High and dry?
Like Cho Gold would usually take high and dry.
Yeah.
That is true.
How about Marksman though? Like,
Marksman specifically, they would go for Electro Flash, Weapon Master, obviously.
Yeah.
That is the natural go-to. Killing Spree if they're feeling real fruity that day.
so if they want to follow the advice that Gideon is giving,
Don't be boring.
Don't
Take
be boring. Bring it out and just
Show 'em who's
show 'em.
boss.
Yeah, I was gonna say show them what you're made of, right? But I mean, this is just one dimension that we're focusing on here, the gold lane. And you know, I've said this before. A lot of the pacing is set jungles. But going back to now the roamers here, right? The roam area for not just these two teams, but in general, right? Light makes a lot of things happen here. I feel like for See You Soon, they also can maybe play around the roam role a little bit more to set those things up like we were going about with Ra in the gold lane. They don't have to completely go toe-to-toe with RSG every time if they're able to actually find these little pickoffs. And that's why I love seeing Cho on the map, because a lot of that allows it, you know, with a nice timed Way of the Dragon, it really helps out.
I think it all comes back down to timing, to be honest. Like, when are they going to start timing those skills? Because if the Yu Zong as well as the Cho go in aggressively onto the real world manipulation and it gets cancelled, for example, now that's a huge resource spent. And that is a huge, like, aggression that is going to be taken away from the side of RSG.
Well, I mean, if we got to talk about anything, we have to talk about the EXP lane, right? It's going to be Nats versus Felix Boy Aloy, and I think they have been having some pretty okay. I think it's a little interesting. Initially, it was Nats having the winning matchup, and Flexiboy kind of holding his own, and now it's kind of a bit of the other way around, where it's on it's on Flexiboy to actually bring the fight to Nats this time.
Yeah.
He has to. He doesn't have a choice. If he can get that first kill in lane, it will make all the difference for the rest of the game, because it's just continued oppression until an external factor comes and saves him.
I have a question for you, Naisu.
Yes.
I heard that Nats has a nickname.
What did you hear?
The nickname is Makunats.
Do you want me to translate that for
Yes.
Please explain.
I'd love to know what
I'm
that
the best
meant.
guy to ask for Filipino translation. I'll tell you, Makunats. It's so there's.
Why did you trying to say that better than you?
I don't know. But okay, there's a term in Filipino. It's makunat. So when you say, "Oh wow, that Nats is makunat," it means that he's like the hero he's playing is very strong, sturdy, right? And so when they're talking about Nats, it's just because the guy usually can't be killed. He's going like 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4. Sometimes we've even seen Nats go 1 versus 5. So that's kind of where that nickname came from.
Oh,
There you go. You're welcome.
Okay. I mean, he is the MVP finals, so...
I feel like if he wins MSC, he's going to get that tattooed like across his chest.
Makunats.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd go that far, but you know.
I mean, at that point, now that I've said it, go tweet at him. We'll make it happen somehow.
The thing I will say about Nats though is like a lot of the times, especially when you see him and Demon Kai interacting together outside of the game, I feel like there's a lot of this synergy between the two, and so that's why like his play style in itself is kind of relevant to that. So we're going to be taking a look at what's going on here between the players, and now we are going to be taking a short break. Once again, we have a technical issue for the players, and we just ask you guys to sit tight with us, you know, be patient as we get things figured out for day number 1 here, but we'll be right back. Sit tight. Welcome back from that short break. Now again, if you're just joining us, we are here for Group B. This is the second match of the day between RSG Philippines versus SYS Soon. And, you know, they had to figure some things out. They've already got their drafts done and situated, and we talked quite a bit about both team compositions, right? So, I mean, at this point, we're just pretty much waiting for them to get into the game and see how they execute. But one thing we did talk about kind of extensively was SYS Soon's draft is much better this time around for game number 2. Hopefully for them, and hopefully for the fans out there for SYS Soon, is they can actually take this game from RSG so they can also get a 1-for-1.
Possibly, and it's all about that execution as you were talking about before. If they're unable to pull this off, or RSG is just able to get a good read on some of the movements, it can be extremely hard. So I don't know about you guys, but sooner or later, we're going to be showing you the highlights of the previous games to get you a good idea just in case you're tuning in right now. So let's have a look at this. It's not going to be too many, but more importantly, they are getting some really good picks all across the board. Like, look at him, man. He's just catching people off and not missing a shot.
I mean, this was after he had the kind of a hard start here, but this is just person after person going down here to RSG Philippines. And you see how they play around the team composition they had. It was just pretty much all members. Nice hook there, too, towards the end of the game here. Emon with that quick flicker. I mean, that's usually what we see here. And this is a quick game 1. It was under 13 minutes that they ended that game.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a, you know, summary, good tidbits that we saw for game number 1. But like Naisu mentioned before, it wasn't anything crazy because face value, it was a textbook game for the side of RSG. Now, I'm just so excited to get into game number 2, guys.
I mean, based off those highlights that we saw, right, and the talking that we have done here about RSG Philippines and the RSG Philippine fans out there, they know just how strong they are as a team. Gideon has mentioned it himself. They're pretty much like their defense playstyle is very hard to break through. But again, with what SYS Soon has drafted, this could very well be the lesson, if you will. And I gave you guys the Filipino lesson earlier, what lesson means. It's that poison. It's that poison to find the weakness here for RSG Philippines. It could happen here with what they have. There's quite a lot of dynamic to their lineup, right? So Gideon, a little bit of a refresher here. What are we expecting to see from SYS Soon's draft into game number 2?
Well, we are expecting that SYS Soon is going to be looking for something a little bit more execution heavy. They're going to be looking for opportunities to get into the backline and mainly stop big ultimates from their opponents, especially when you come down to that Yves. You've got a Yuzong, you've got Show, multiple ways to break it and then start to look for those picks. But it's all conditional as they set things up with that Claude. So if he finds that grand blazing duet that everybody loves or hates, it could be all the difference that SYS Soon needs to get the win.
I like that you mentioned that because now we are going to be jumping here into the game. Again, this is game number 2, SYS Soon versus RSG Philippines. It's already in favor of RSG Philippines in terms of score. Now, first turtle of the game is going to come up as well. Sensei trying to get some vision here, but right now, quite a bit of control coming out from RSG Philippines. Black Dragon Form is going to be popped here by Felix. Can they actually push back enough? Tempest Blades come down, but not enough as the Retribution is going to secure it for RSG Philippines. But a kill is taken. Light does go down. Real-world motivation there. There's the way of the dragon, too. Finding the target on Demon Kite. Nice pick there. Nice trade, actually, as well.
100%. Now SYS Soon is definitely on the board. They're still in it to be able to win it in a sense that they played that so well, right? This is what we were talking about, the conditions coming in from SYS Soon. They need to be able to, you know, utilize the Way of Dragon, utilize the Black Dragon form well, and that's exactly what happened, what we saw, because if Nats goes head-to-head with Felix Boyloy, he can't win. We saw that happening in the top side. He's just losing way too much HP. So the way that he was able to maneuver around that, he opens up the Black Dragon form, uses it to zone out someone like, I would usually use it on the Aqua, but he did it on Light, was able to get a kill, and therefore the other members from the side of SYS Soon were able to do what they were meant to do. Like the Cho, for example, taking on that Way of Dragon super well.
I think in moments like this, we have to keep in mind that RSG PH, even though, yeah, all right, we gave away 2 kills. This is not much of a confidence booster. This is expected from SYS Soon. They generally have good ways to get on our big hitters, and they have a decent ultimate rate at level 4, which is going to definitely do a lot more damage than what we would have imagined to do. But now they are going for the even bigger engage and their big target, Iman.
Oh, there goes Ron to follow up. Actually, popping the Vengeance, also the Blazing Duet, but not able to get a kill just yet. The return comes from RSG Philippines. There's the Way of the Dragon. Boxy's in trouble. He gets taken out by Iman. Nice pickup there. Now they're focusing on Ember. Can Ember get away here? It's just way too much. Has the power of that slowdown as well. Another kill going over here to RSG Philippines.
Before this match ensued, there was so much like going on in the group of casters because they were saying like, wow, they actually gave Demon Kite Karina. And I'm known to see that Demon Kite, like Karina, is one of the power heroes that Demon Kite has in his arsenal. And you can see that actually pay off in the game. I mean, already he is sitting at a 0-1-2. It is still 4 minutes in the game, but he's getting all the objectives on the board like he was built for.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to do here. So they get the turtle, as you mentioned, Eterna, right? This is what RSG Philippines does. They go for those objectives, they secure them. Usually with the Demon Slayer jungle emblem, there's not even much chance for you to respond to that.
Yeah, I don't think there is much time. It's, I don't know. I think right now the game is in motion. That RSG PH, the way that they are playing it, more importantly, the way that they're transitioning with their mid laner as well as their support, they are just trading. They're just trading mid lane roles, right? I mean, you get first Nats comes down to the mid lane. You start pre-contesting there. You move him back down. Immediately, your mid lane support starts moving down to collide with your gold laner to make sure that he's covered. Your jungle adds up on top. They're just making sure that the strongest part of their wall is always in the faces of See You Soon, giving them no opportunities to actually move into their jungle except for now.
Right now, Nav's going to be the focus here. 2 versus 1, again, showing just how confident he is on this pick. Demon Kite now also in the area, so they could look for something here. Felix obviously knows that. He's just going to clear it, go back, regen.
Man, you mentioned this, right? Nas is able to just pull out these really insane situations, and 1v2 doesn't seem like it's a problem for him. And the problem is now, Felix Boiler is going to be really behind in rotations, and he's one of the most core members that we need from See You Soon. The utility to be able to zone the members as well as deny those resources from popping.
As you said, Makunafs.
Makunafs.
Right? You guys are seeing it here from him himself. And at the same time, I do want to say, Gideon, how does this work, right? The Claude with the Vengeance, is that going to be really beneficial for him? Is this something you guys typically see?
Yes and no, because let's keep in mind that there is still a Beatrix, and especially when you have Nibiru's Passion, right? It's just that cone wave of just multiple shots. Oh, Boxy, he finds a kick!
Nice pickup there. Can they actually follow up? Emma's still alive for a little bit longer. Has that hard guard to help him out as well. They're trying to return this. He's still alive. Sensei can't get the kill though. Meanwhile, Demon Kite, like a thief in the night, takes another turtle.
Wow. It's too close for comfort, but now See You Soon, they get one turn for themselves. Nats, there's no way he's going to get a kill there, but that's what you want to see from See You Soon. These big plays, these high execution mechanical plays coming out from this small Cambodian region, trying to make it big.
Utilize their pickoff potential to its utmost ability, and that's exactly what we're seeing. And once again, but unfortunately, it does not connect 100%, but ooh, something might be brewing.
Real World Military is going to come down, and there you go. Boxy is punished here. The return once again. That's cool. You got to get out of there, buddy, and he goes down this time. It's a response, a 1-for-1. Nice pickup there for See You Soon, but also Boxy has to be a little bit careful here because this could be a tendency to continue to happen. Look at what happens under the turret as Demon Kite finds a kill himself. And now they're focusing in the mid lane. Demon Kite, 1 HP. Sensei, are you going to go for it? It was a bait. Sensei's in trouble now. Nice heart guard there. RSG Philippines.
Oh no, that was so unfortunate to see. You think for a split second you have an edge onto RSG and they just immediately outplay you. That's gotta be harsh. I mean, right now we can see that RSG is leading with a 2.5k gold lead, and it does seem like it is still growing.
I mean, he got timing. There's nothing much you can really say about that. It's unfortunate, but it happens. But I think that RSG PH are coming to a point where they want to get to 32k, and that's where they're really going to start pressing their advantage. I mean, Iman, he has been doing a really good job. He's broken the turret all by himself. He's taken 2, in a matter of fact, and now he wants that mid turret on top of it all. RSG is brewing up a storm.
Wow, and they already forced the Black Shoes out of Ember, so he's going to
so
lose that. That's pretty big for them. And again, this is the pressure that RSG Philippines is putting around the map. Raw trying to do his best here to just kind of show up and show some face. But right now, RSG Philippines not going to be letting them really do anything at the moment.
I mean, at this stage, the way I see it is like, see you soon. They need to find a way to be able to bait out that real-world manipulation if they want to go for a full 5-man team fight. Because once that gets popped off, then it's easy to be able to respond to these kinds of movements and deny that from RSG. But if RSG is able to just, keep those amazing skills that are going to be a huge factor, then it's going to be very difficult for See You Soon.
Nice patience there coming out from Felix as he focuses on Emon. The Lord's still going to be worked on here, but it's actually secured by Sensei. Nice pickup there by See You Soon. They should just back out of here. They should be happy with that. But RSG Philippines looking to punish them here. Navs now working on Raw. Falling Star Moon's in. Can he find a kill here? Trying to cut somebody off. And meanwhile, look at the bottom lane. The kill is taken for Demon Kite. Now going to be working on Boxy. They want to return this. Raw has to get out of there too. But meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Boxy still up and alive. Meanwhile, Lord will also march down the bottom lane.
Okay, it's not too bad, right? The worst situation that See You Soon could have had was that more members than one were able to be taken out. But as I speak, Ember goes down to the hands of Nas, and Makunas strikes again.
Whew. Well, Eternal, you're on the board this time, so it's going to be 2-1. It feels good. I'm not the only person who's able to pull it up when it matters the most. Now, I think with the Lord coming out, they're not going to be able to get too much. Oh my goodness, actually, Nats has a lot of damage.
Wow.
Good kick to start things off.
Boxy goes in with the flicker, Wave the Dragon, finding a kill on Emon. That's a nice pickup. Now the Black Dragon Form is going to come out. We're going to take a pause here. As soon as Gideon mentions Eternas, Gideon gets one himself.
3-1. All right, going strong, going strong. I'm pretty sure somebody disconnected there for sure. I think Angela is kind of standing a little too still for my liking, uncomfortably under tower.
Yeah. I mean, so if we back it up a little bit, while they figure this out here, RSG Philippines is they're leading. I think the gold lead, if I remember, is like 3K or above. But you can see those types of decisions that See You Soon is making, specifically Boxy, right? He's trying to find those moments for them. Eterna mentioned this earlier. She said that if the real-world manipulation comes up and you're able to cancel it with that Black Dragon form, that's one of the best things that can happen here. But again, Boxy is really trying to find those moments for See You Soon. And if you take a look at your screens right now, you can see Aqua and Ember, the head-to-head here. Again, this is going off the first game. This is only the stats from maybe one game, right? So this isn't, I mean, Aqua, he's got a reputation of just being pretty dominant in that mid lane. And this is what we're seeing even with his pick right now, the Eve, right? He actually, even if he gets canceled out, you see the decision making that he's able to pop off with the Eve, even without real world manipulation. So if Ember can actually match that somehow, some way, it could help See You Soon.
I think it could, but I think at the end of the day, it's just the range battle that you have, right? I mean, Eve can safely stand afar and can actually deny the opportunity to trade back against him, and especially Ember on Lilia as well. He's really trying to get up right into Aqua's face, but Aqua, he's cool, calm, collected, again, playing defensively, and it's really working out for him.
I mean, the best thing that Ember can do on the Lilia, in my opinion, is that if RSG PH, they want to go crazy and go in for the dive, you have the ability to slow them down as well as deal in that burst damage.
Oh, but right now, RSG's going to go ahead and commit to this one. Look at Sensei in the back lane. He finds the kill on Light. Nice pickup there. So RSG down one member. Meanwhile, Emon, there's the Tempest of Blades. Oh, he can't get the kill, though. Real World Manipulation is going to come down. Sensei, you got to get out. Demon Kite finding the kill here. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. But actually, RSG Philippines, that was a little iffy for them.
That must be so frustrating, though, being Sensei. I mean, you want to go down, you see someone really low, and that's what you think that the Ling was built for. But as soon as that real-world manipulation gets popped off, but wait a minute, it has to wait.
Another Way of the Dragon going to be popped here. Now, look at them full-on return. Felix pops the Black Dragon form, able to get a kill on Demon Kite before he is taken really low. Still surviving, though. Meanwhile, Ra gets taken out by Aqua, and there you go, the response. It's a 2-for-1.
I mean, okay, RSG, they can push for more here. Even though it is a 2-for-1, can they break this mid-tier one? And if they do, this opens up Seiyusun's jungle so very much. And now Sensei, his buffs are continuously going to be contested as long as RSG maintain that control. But with the first Lord spawning, and especially since it is getting stronger and stronger every minute, Seiyusun need to be able to utilize this to either even the score or start pushing ahead, one or the other.
Well, they really even the gold. I mean, they've narrowed that down to pretty much non-existent at this point. So that is a great start here for Seiyusun. If they can have some, I mean, this happened earlier, right, where Sensei was actually able to get the retribution off in time. So either they can go for a pick, get the numbers advantage, or have Sensei pull something off. Because, like you said, you could see a little frustration in him earlier when he couldn't get that kill. But now Nav's going to be focused on here. Has to use the Falling Star Moon to survive. Demon Kite trying to get some vision here for the team. Meanwhile, the rest of them are following. But look at Light. He's just waiting patiently there, too, to see exactly what's going to go on.
Yeah, the Black Shoes gets baited away too from the side of Seiyusun. So they did bait each other's skills out. So they might want to be able to like kind of reset this, because you can see that both teams are rotating towards that Lord area. And when it comes down to it, if they want to go in full force, RSG PH, they do have the advantage unless Boxy goes in for a crazy play.
Wow, right now, Black Dragon Form is going to be popped, and they're actually going to go one by one all around the map. Tempest Blade's going to come down. Aqua not going to be committed on just yet. Felix does go down here. Emon able to get the hard guard and finding a kill for himself. Can he get another one? Boxy, you're in trouble here. There you go. 3 go down to 4 Seiyusun. Meanwhile, Naz cuts him off, finding him with a Falling Star Moon. Aqua trying to do his best. Rio comes down. Ember taken out, and it's going to be a wipe out here. RSG Philippines.
Oh my god, a 5v3 trade for the side of RSG, winning it out on all occasions. Now they do have the space, the number advantage, and that's quite interesting, ironically, because they only have 2 members left, and it's going to be an easy Lord in their pocket as they're going to be waiting for all the rest to spawn.
More than enough work has been done by RSG PH. Now the question is, can they close out this game? We've already come to the 14th minute mark, right? So I'm guessing around the 17th to 18th minute is when they start getting the ideas to consider breaking it all down. But if we're looking at this instant replay, what a play this was. Able to get 3-4-2 trade, and especially since they had already caught you off mid-flank, that was nice.
I mean, like, this is, again, just the decision-making, especially Nas, right? Nas came in, cut them off, and kind of solidified that wipeout for them. Again, this is also Light. The power of having that Angela pick, like you mentioned, it can either be committed to Demon Kite or it can be committed to Emon, like we saw there.
When we're talking about that, I also have a question here. Is Sensei comfortable on the lane? I mean, he has used it twice in a row in the games that they've played, but it doesn't seem like he's quite comfortable, like maneuvering around, using the Finch Poise and so on and so forth. But as you can see here, the Lord is pushing down.
That could be a possibility, and I think, you know, I think that Sensei, he knows better than that. I mean, he is technically a pub star, and he is a very objective-oriented jungler. And I think that as long as he can kind of see it coming, he can react. And worst comes to worst, maybe he can get somebody to help him out. Maybe Felix in this case, or if he can bait out enough, maybe even Rob with the Blazing Duet full stacked.
Yeah, especially later in the game, right? Again,
yes.
this is the time really when I feel like Claude, I don't know exactly how many items he has. We might be able to see the items here shortly, but you know, at this point, you're 16 minutes in. There it is. You know, you have some of your core items, and that could actually really help you, because what I'm seeing from Sensei is a little bit of frustration. He's seen lots of targets low health, not able to capitalize on that or get those kills like he wants to. So right now, they've got to kind of slow it down a little bit, trust in the items that they're grabbing at this point in the game, and hope for something better, and not to be completely dismantled in terms of those team fights that RSG Philippines is doing to them right now.
I think it could change, but now that it's 51k coming in from RSG PH, I don't know whether they are going to keep on just farming and farming and farming, because there's no point here.
Yeah.
Even if they were to get like an extra item, it would be a situational, not really a core, but it really depends on the heroes at risk here. But Nats, he takes the first hit of the Jeet Kune Do, and Iman is getting pretty close with his sniper shots as well.
I mean, at this point, once again, Boxy trying to find a moment here for the team, but actually going to take some damage, should be fine. And like you mentioned, I feel like those items are really going to... Oh, Iman might be in trouble. They're not going to commit to this yet. They know they have to worry about the Heart Guard too. Sensei could be looking to go in on this one. Pops the Tempest Blades. There's the Heart Guard, though, that we were looking for. And now Nas going to be focused on 2. Black Dragon form comes out. The setups are here. There's the Blazing Duet, but was it enough? No one falls for RSG Philippines just yet, as Sensei is taken out, and now a Boxy. This is bad news for See Ya Soon. And they're following up on Felix. Can't escape this one, as 3 fall for See Ya Soon.
That was so difficult to see because you could see that they were waiting for that real-world manipulation to get popped off as well. And you can see that the Black Dragon form instantly rotated towards that area. But the problem is the conditions have to be clear. Oh my god, it gets actually baited out once again.
There you go, the 1-2 connection, and they find a kill on Ember. RSG Philippines going to be pushing into the base. No minions there. They didn't need them. They grabbed the turret, cracking open the base. Here comes the minions. They're going to zone out Ra here. And ladies and gentlemen, this very well could be it. He's trying one last time with the Blazing Duet, but it's not enough. RSG Philippines takes game number 2.
2-0 clean game here for the side of RSG from the Philippines. So it must be a roar there in the Philippines, especially as they are must be super proud of their representative in RSG. But man,
they're shouting Makunats.
Makunats.
So, or they're saying GG RSG, right? So
that's true.
A great performance there, Gideon.
No, that really was a great performance. Personally, I thought it was rather stale because, again, it's just clean play after clean play after clean play. Finally, you make a mistake, and I'm just hoping, like, maybe you can see